left the hotels. I started a different career in plumbing, and that led me up to my late 50s, early 60s. I was at the pinnacle of my particular choice I had made there, because I was managed a division in a plumbing company. That division, I was in the very forefront, leading with it. And it came a point where I was questioning everything again. There was another choice point here. I wasn't sure of what it was. I just knew that something wasn't right, that I needed to change. Didn't have a clue, didn't understand, just knew that something was not right. I gave notice to my boss, who immediately, oh, well, we can get more money, we can do this, we can do that. I said, it's not that. I said, nobody's offered me another job. I don't have a clue where I'm going or what I'm going to do. I just know I need to change. I should have followed through at that time. There was a lucrative opportunity came up for the company for making a lot of money. The other people in the division weren't qualified to do it, so I agreed to stay for a little while, which turned into a year. But still, something was lacking, and I couldn't understand this. I didn't know what or how or why. It got so bad that I was driving to work one day, and instead of going to work, I drove on out the highway and went into the mountains. I spent a month trying to find me, understand what was going on. It was a really bad time for me, and it got even worse. I came back. Within a few months, my wife of 40 years died. A few months after that, my mother died. Basically, my life up to that time was over. I was done. Everything that I committed to in this lifetime was completed. But aside from family and a few close friends, that part of my life was over. I was taking all this really hard. Depression does not even begin to come close to where I was at that time. My daughter and some of her friends came over, took me out of the house, took me to her place, put me up in one of her spare bedrooms, packed up all my stuff, put it in storage, and basically I stayed there for a year. I wallowed in that pain, darkness, agony, trying to come to terms with the loss of my wife, with so many other things. And finally, one morning, I woke up, and as I lay there in bed, I thought, I was talking to myself, who else am I going to have a conversation with? You need to get off your dead ass. You've been wallowing in this crap long enough. Get up, get out, go find something, and get on with it. Well, at that time I had no idea of the internet, all the communications, things that are available. But the computer was in my bedroom because that's the only place there was space for it in the house. So 5 o'clock in the morning I sat down at the computer and decided to explore the internet. I also decided, since the inner explanations, the paranormal, if you will, that my wife and I had started and put on hold because they terrified her and she couldn't handle that. That now she wasn't here, there was nothing to stop me, so I would go back to this and I would start that journey and continue on. I decided to go back and look at Eckankar because that was the last thing I had experience with. And as I did, I click this into Google, And 50 million different things come up, and holy crap, what is it, all this stuff? So I noticed one of the first things there was kind of a complaint against Eckankar. And I clicked on that, found someone who had been very high in their organization, found out that most of it was scam. The technology was correct. It was like so many other things, Scientology and a few others, that they have the correct technology, but its implementation is not what it should be. Same as what religions have done with all the teachings they've gotten. So I went to his website, saw that he had written a book on all this thing, bought the book, continued to follow, his stuff. He had what I now understand is a little group chat. And one of the messages I saw there led me to Seth. For those who don't know, Seth was channeled by Jane Roberts in the late 70s, early 80s. And that took me 2 years. I spent the time doing the exercises that he proposed, learning about inner reality, how we create our reality. Just as I was getting comfortable in this, then Elias shows up. Now Elias is another channeled entity. Mary Ennis, who lives in Vermont, brings him through. But he came through to me personally in meditations and stuff, so that was my connection. I found another new community of people who are Elias people. And most Elias people come from a Seth background, and it seems to be a continuation of the teachings that Seth brought forth. So that's where I am today. I've had experiences. I've learned things. I understand who I am, what my reality is, how I create it, and that's where I am today. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll continue with the next one.